Just 8 minutes have gone and we've already pretty much had the grid formed up. It started off dry, but then the rain started to come down and we had Luca Chiapelli in the wall barely before we'd begun. However, everyone fought the conditions and Dan the Man was the first one to settle up with a benchmark of a 1 minute .9. Then the time started to tumble. We had Softcott provisionally go faster than Phil only by 0.03 of a second before the big boys started turning up. Jonas immediately took that provisional pole slot before a surprise pole position, for the moment at least, but Paul McGuinness came along. That's key in the fight for the Constructors' Championship. Of course, just 4 points separate the top two constructors, which are currently Toro Rosso and Williams, and at the moment one person from each of those teams occupies the front row. We've got drivers again going out for another runs, but it's definitely going to be too wet for any improvements. But are we going to see someone produce a little bit of magic to be able to challenge Paul McGuinness and Jonas for the front row slot? We have the all-time greatest driver back fully with us here at Brazil. James O'Connor has slotted his car into third place, just half a tenth off pole so far. It's really close, as we can see. Just under 3 tenths separate the top 7, with the newly crowned world champion Jake Davies propping up those 7 drivers. However, there is a constructors title still to decide, and the key people you need to look out for in the session, the two Toro Rossos of Paul McGuinness and Phil Bargewell. They currently top the standings, just 4 points ahead of the 2 Williams drivers of Dan the Man and Jonas, currently provisionally 2nd and 8th on the grid. Then the other team that's in the fight is Force India, only with one of their drivers for pretty much the whole season, and that is Jake, who is currently in P7. The only stragglers we've got in the mix. We've got the 2 Red Bulls currently making it an all Red Bull second row, and then we then have Softcott, the returning Softcott, probably one of the quickest drivers on the grid, currently in 5th spot. So the rest of the field are as follows. We've got, as mentioned, Dan the Man is in 8th, Jack Pearson in 9th. We've got Dom Smith, who has said no more for this session, currently in 10th. Chris Johnson 11th, Demon Ashton 12th, and we've of course got Luca Chiapelli in 13th. He dropped it before he had a chance to do a lap, and the McLaren boys will be pretty disappointed with that. Nonetheless, they have got one car, for the moment at least, in the top 10. So we are watching Jake Davies now. He's just starting another lap, and he ran a bit wide there at turn 4, really reiterating the point that the conditions aren't ideal out there, and I doubt we're going to see many improvements, but nonetheless they're all giving a go for our entertainment, and he runs wide there again as one of the Toro Rossos keeps out of his way into that tricky turn 7. So let's have a little chat with some of the drivers. Oh, Jake's nearly binned it. Sorry, nearly where Dan dropped it. And I was just about to cut to Dan. We're going to have a little chat now with Dan. Dan, you mounted.
He's off again.
Jake's lost it. He's off again. And Dan, I'm really sorry. We'll come to you at some point. And Jake has given up. He has said, no, I've had enough. It's going to be P7 at best for the Welshman. So we will cut to Dan now. We're not going to be able to see Jake bin it again. Dan, P8. Not the best to qualify for you, but do you think you could do some damage in the race?
Probably not.
Thanks,
Dan. You always say damage. I don't want to do damage.
What do you want to do, Dan?
Not damage. I want to not damage the car for however many laps and win, but that's not going to happen.
So, obviously, here in Brazil, the first lap is key. So do you think you're going to be able to make up many positions on turn 1?
Hopefully. There's always seems to be an accident at turn 1 in Brazil. Hopefully I'm not involved.
We hope so too, Dan. We want to see the constructors go right to the wire. We're watching back with Paul McGuinness now. He's on another lap, but I don't really know why. Probably just a glorified test session for the Scotsman now. He's about to take, if things stay as they are, his 19th pole position, which, if I'm right in saying, will put him 8th in the all-time list. Just 4 behind Softcop even, who, of course, we all know, incredibly quick, but never here. And while we have got him here, the privilege, we have got Softcop. He's on a lap, I believe, at the moment. So we might not quite interrupt him yet. We've got 1 second left of qualifying, and that's now ended. And Softcop cannot improve on his time. So as just as he's coming on his in-lap, Callum, how do you feel that you could have done better in this qualifying session? I don't think this is quite as high as where you would have hoped to have been.
Well, to be fair, you'd be very surprised. Brazil's a track that I don't think I'd ever qualified in the top 4 in my TGP1 career. Although I did fuck up my first lap, and that was my quickest lap. So, not played the game in over a month compared to a few days ago, or before a few days ago. So, we'll see how it goes. But I'm more hedging my bets on Abu Dhabi rather than Brazil.
Very good, and apologies for the swearing there, ladies and gentlemen. But no, Softy, it's going to be an interesting to see what you can get up to in lap 1. Do you feel you're going to be able to make any positions up? I mean, is a win likely from 5th?
Well, saying that, I did win a few seasons ago at Brazil somehow.
Sorry, Paul's binned it. Sorry, Paul has spun it at the last corner. Sorry to interrupt you, Softy. He is well into the grass and just trying to rejoin the track again. Paul just testing the limits of the track conditions, and will now hopefully safely bring it back to the pits. I say safely, he's nearly put it in the wall. Sorry to interrupt you there. Paul has lost it, and he's in the wall, and that's game over. Oh no, he's kept the engine running. He's still got all 4 wheels on his wagon. He won't want to damage the gearbox, but Paul again is there, maybe celebrating his pole position quite badly. But anyway, sorry, back to you, Softy. So lap 1 then, what's going to be the aim for you at the end of lap 1? Where do you want to see yourself coming across the line at the end of lap 1?
Well, let's just say I don't want to get taken out at turn 1, which is a high chance, but other than that, we'll see where it goes.
Thank you, Softy. So let's have a rundown of the order then at the end of qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix. We've got Paul McGuinness lining up on pole, his 19th career pole, and the best place to be in the fight for the Constructors' title. John has joined him on the front row. The 2 teams, as said, separated by just 4 points, and the 2 drivers separated by 17,000. We've got James coming in 3rd, Martin making it an all Red Bull 2nd row, Softy in 5th, Phil 6th, Jake, the current world champion, in 7th, Dan the Man in 8th, Jack Pearson 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is Dom Smith.
Let's go.
Skip.
Quickly skip this bit so we don't get FOM copyrights.
Sorry, boys.
We've got the grid girls out. We have the mechanics out there getting the cars ready, and hopefully we will be treated to a spectacle here in Brazil. The sun is out, as you'll be happy to hear, and we are definitely hoping for a classic. Hopefully the title, Constructors' title, excuse me, won't be decided here. We'd like to see it go down to the Twilight Grand Prix that is Abu Dhabi, but sometimes things don't go as planned, and of course with the top 12 scoring points in TGP1, could go any way. Just waiting for Dan the Man. He's probably making sure that his front wheel's back on.
No, and
here we go then. We've got 1 light, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 lights in Brazil. And they're all out and we're underway. Slow start there, I think, from the front 2. Softy's had a rocket of a start. He's already trying to pull in the side of Martin. He's now looking outside of James in the corner. Paul holds the lead. Jonathan's having a little look up the outside. Martin, I think that is in 3rd. We've got Force India's already up to 4th. Jake's up to 3rd already. What a start. And further back, they're starting to drop back a little bit. We've got Jonas challenging Paul. Has a little sniff of the inside into turn 4, but nothing too much yet as Paul leads them out of the first sector. We got James in 3rd. Softy's got it, and where's Jake? What's happened to Jake? Jake's round.
I think keep my rear.
The Welshman, the man who was crowned champion last week, is down to 12th, and Paul holds his own at the front, and James O'Connor, the former TGP1 world champion, is now harrowing the Williams of Johners for 3rd place. We got Martin back up to 5th after his poor start. He was down as below as 6th already. Phil Bargewell stayed in 6th. He's made up a little bit of ground again thanks to the spin for Jake. But for the time being, it's the Scotsman who leads them up the hill. We've got Jack Pearson falling like a stone and nearly hits the back of Luca Chiapelli. Jake Davies is now all the back of Dan the Man. Dan the Man's had a shocking start. He has caused some damage, as it turns out, into lap 1. Paul McGuinness then, as we finish lap 1, holds his own at the front. Phil Bargewell starting to have a little look now to get past Martin into the top 5. And the top three separated by just 6/10 of a second.
Oh.
And I know what, Jonas is going to get past him as soon as possible. As the field now starting to settle down a little bit, the top three neck and neck. Softy's got a little bit of a gap to him in front and behind. Martin's going to want to keep Phil back for all his might, but what really isn't helping Williams at the moment is Dan the Man down in 12th at the moment, only scoring 1 point, and they need to be really capitalising because Paul and Phil are doing more than they need to do at the moment to hold on to that constructors lead going into the last race. And Jonas really needs to be mindful in his rearview mirrors of James O'Connor, who gets very close to the back of the Williams driver. The man from Harlow, Essex, is really under pressure at the moment from James O'Connor as they head now down to complete lap 2, and Paul is starting to gap these two now. I think he's maybe carrying a little bit more wing, which is helping him through those second sector, but in the first and third, Jonas does seem to be gaining on him a little bit, and he's run wide there, and Jonas could have a chance into turn 4 if we believe that Paul is running a little bit more wing. Paul is having to go defensive. Jonas on the DRS, James with the DRS, he's got the double toe, down now into turn 4. Jonas round the outside of Paul but can't get it done, and he's trying to call on the switchback, the flippity-whap, flippity-spat, as Jack Pearson calls it, I think. But Paul is currently holding his own up the inside, and Paul holds on to first place. James is getting a little bit feisty, and Softcop's joining the party now. We've got the top 4 separated by a whisker. John has made a mistake coming into, I think it's turn 7, and now he's got James all over the back of him. The man from Ireland is going to want to add to his wins tally. He already tops the wins tally. Is he going to get another one today? Phil still not being able to get past the other Red Bull of Martin. James ran a little bit wide there at Zheng Chao, and that could compromise him going up the hill.
Yeah, James's leg definitely isn't that great. I'm going to get my wing taken off.
Bit of team radio there from Softcop saying the lag for the Red Bull isn't ideal.
Phil's round.
And Phil, something's happened to Phil. Oh no, what's happened to Phil?
Oh, Phil. Oh.
Phil's down to 11th. And we're not sure if he's got damage, but Dan the Man has pitted, as has Phil. I wonder if they were involved in something there. The two teams going for the title, but we've got the
a penalty, for God's sake.
Dan's got a 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's gone from bad to worse for Williams.
Now, somebody tagged me at turn 1. I don't know who it was, but
we've got a bit of team radio there from Dan the Man. But this battle for first is really hotting up. We've got 4 drivers separated by just 1.5 seconds. And Jonas is really brewing. I'm think right about now, possibly running a little bit less wing, but it's going to really help him with that DRS down the main straight, and also in the second DRS zone heading out to turn 4. But are we going to see any movement? Are we going to see anyone dive for the pits, make a really early call and switch strategies? Not yet. As we end lap 4 now. Top 4, Paul, Jean, James and Callum. With Martin now got himself a little bit of breathing room thanks to Phil Bargewell's mistake. We've got Dom Smith running a great race up in 6th. McLaren driver looking to get as many points as possible, but we've got Jonas on the DRS. Is he close enough to Paul? Not quite. We've got a fantastic rear shot from Paul McGuinness at the moment. That Williams is looming large in his rear view mirror, but at the moment it's nothing more than an image.
it's a mirage. Sorry.
Thank you, Dan.
Some of you might know what that's
Now,
from. Some of you
this
might not.
really tight and technical section of the track. We all enjoy watching the cars going through here. Very tricky for the drivers. I'm sure they enjoy it too, to a certain extent. But maybe this lap, maybe this time for John-Luke Taylor, just 6/10 off the lead. I tell you what, Martin's not being dropped by this pack of 4 either. He could join himself in the action if they all start squabbling. Just 1.8 now separate the top 4. Softy's not made as many inroads as I'm sure he would have liked. James is still breathing down the neck of Jonas. Jonas on the DRS. He's definitely getting closer to Toro Rosso. Is he going to have to make a brave move? The number 47 man from Harlow. Not quite yet.
Jake Pitts from 8th.
And Jake has pitted. He found himself round, facing the wrong way after turn 5. And he's really going to want to sort his race out. Jonas just faking to the inside, letting Paul know he's there still. He's not running away with it yet. just 4 tenths the gap between first and second, and 7 tenths the gap between first and third. James is still putting John under immense pressure, and Softy's just biding his time. And a little further down the field, we've got just 4 tenths separating Dom Smith and Chris Johnson. We've got Chiapelli in 8th after his disappointing qualifying. Jake has come out of the pits in 9th. Jack Pearson 10th. Don't know what's happened to him. Phil Bardwell 11th. We know what happened to him. And Dan the Man in 12th. We definitely know what happened to him. And Demon Ash down in a lonely 13th place. But James is all over the back of Jean-Luc Taylor. And Paul dives to the pit. Paul has stopped. Is he going to get it down to speed? He has. And James and Jonathan are now fighting for the lead. And Softy's over pitted as well. So 1st and 4th have made the call that lap 6, or 6 laps, is all that their tyres can do. Dom Smith's got a 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. Jean-Luc Taylor has to cover the inside line. But James is not close enough yet. Let's watch Paul, see where he rejoins. Wiggling his way now through this really difficult pit exit. Don't hit the wall, Paul. And he's out, and he's comfortably clear of the Renault driver of Softcop. So they come out in 5th and 6th respectively. What about the leaders? We know there's 4 tenths between them, and we know that James is behind Johners, but are they going to come out the pits in this order? Obviously the Red Bull garage is ahead of the Williams, so damage permitting, if Red Bull sort their stops out and get a really slick one, then they might be able to jump Johners, which could really help James on a course for a victory, could it? Johners pits, James doesn't. Ooh. Wow. We're on board with Jean-Luc Taylor for his stop now. Where's Paul? He's just coming around the last corner up the hill. Zheng Chao. We also got Martin in the pits as well. So maybe that's why James didn't pit. Slick start from Williams. The soft tyres go on.
Oh, it's going to be close.
And where's Paul? Paul has comfortably done it. A really gap from the Toro Rosso driver.
Phil's going to make a move for 9th on someone. It's just nothing else happening.
Is Softy going to jump Johners as well? It's going to be almighty close. And Softy side by side with the Williams driver. And I tell you what, round the outside, Softy has done it. Well, there you go. 4th to a potential 2nd. Really slick stop from the Renault mechanics, and a very good outlap as well. Jonathan lost on his front wing. He's sat at the back of the Renault driver. No. Yes.
Oh no.
And that is awful news for the constructors and for Jean-Luc to win hopes. We've still got James pounding around the lap, and he has pitted as well now. Where's he going to come out in relation to these two? Is Jonathan going to have to pit again? How much is the damage?
Nah, it's manageable. I've not any chance of winning though.
Apologies for the team radio language there, ladies and gentlemen. But we have got Softy, who surely now is also going to jump the Irishman in the pits. And I tell you what, coming around the first corner, I think he's already done it. Yes, he has. James is dropping like a stone, and he's going to be back behind Johners. He clips the wall on the pit exit. Hope he hasn't got damage as well. Or Softy and Paul run away with it. We've just got now Chris Johnson, the only man not to pit. And I tell you what, this is a fascinating race so far.
Not if you're me.
Not if you're Dan the Man.
Phil's into 9th, past Jack.
Phil is climbing his way back up the order, and I think after Chris Johnson's pitted, will also be back up to 8th then. So the recovery drive from Phil Bardwell. We've got James O'Connor all over the back of the Williams driver. I tell you what, let's enjoy this. Let's go on board with the former TGP1 champion, multiple championships to his name, as they climb up the hill now. He's going to be on the DRS. Johners is going to be really struggling in these first 3 corners. Is he just going to let James go? I hope not, for our entertainment benefits, but he's just let him go. Johners, sort it out, man. And now he's released James to go after Softcop. These two have a little bit of history of not getting on. Let's hope that doesn't transpire to the track and we can see a nice clean battle. Chris Johnson still the only man not to box, 2.1 seconds clear of the net race leader, Paul McGuinness. Jack Pearson's earned himself a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings, and Owen Quimby has joined the equation, but only as a spectator. It's fine, he won't take any of you out.
Good.
Twisting their way through Sector 2. James just 8/10 off the back of Softcop. And we're going to have to hope that these two can really take it to each other cleanly and fairly. Will Chris Johnson box as well? That will really help out Paul. He's just 9/10 off the back of him. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3 for something. Chris Johnson has pitted. I don't know if he hit the wall maybe coming in.
Probably.
James sets the fastest lap of the race. He really wants this second place. He got a second place in Mexico when he came in behind Jean-Luc Taylor, who's a 100% win record, and the last one race is probably going to go.
And why did he get that second place, Mike?
Unknown reasons. Martin Diver has really fallen off the back of this little train now. And James is just 6/10.
Shit, no, Chris Johnson's ahead of me.
And Chris has jumped Phil. Wow, well, not jumped, but stayed ahead of him. Fantastic news for the man from Qatar, apparently. Jake still running a solid race in 12. Could he be able to move forward and challenge Martin to climb his way back up to 5th? Softy is soon going to be under attack from James. Just 4.5 cover these two now. Probably two of the greatest drivers to ever grace this league, apart from Ben Alesi and, of course, Dom Smith, are now fighting it out in Sao Paulo. Paul's taking it easy. I imagine he's put it into lean, but there is only 1.2 seconds between them. He might have to get a wiggy on in a minute. As James on the DRS, Softy has to cover the inside, but locks his front brakes. He's going to be under pressure now, surely in the exit of turn 3, down the back straight to turn 4. Jake's made a little mistake on the exit, though. Is he going to be close enough? He's on the DRS. Softy's covering the middle of the track. Is he going to be a late lunge from James? Not yet. He holds it firm for the moment, but Softy's still only a second behind Paul. Paul's going to have to turn the wick up in a minute. Are we going to see a three-way fight for the lead? That'll be good to see. Jonathan really dropped back off these three now, thanks to his front wing damage, and Jake is still closing on Martin.
Don't take each one, it's fine.
Someone get me a safety car, please.
Get Tinnis on the phone.
Is back in the
My
pits.
name's not Nelson PK, so...
I didn't say you had to.
Dan's into 12. Is he pitted again?
Yeah, Dan's pitted again. Really going from bad to worse from the man from Liverpool.
In it, lads.
So, James, just half a second behind the rail. They're going to have to defend from the Irishman. Is James close enough into turn 1?
Yeah.
Softy has to go ever so slightly defensive. Locks his front brakes again. And James is going to have to really hope for a good exit out of turn 3 this time to be able to have a move going down into turn 4. On the DRS again then.
I'm still ahead
James
of
O'Connor is not close enough. And is this going to be a recurring theme? And I think the evidence from Softy now being under a second behind Paul is clear that Paul is clearly running more front wing. I'm sure we'll see him scuttle away again.
I think Martin's been passed by Jake for 5th.
He has, unseen by us. Martin, I imagine, has made a mistake because he's lost about 5-6 seconds and fallen behind the current TGP1 champion. So, Softy has managed to stay under a second behind Paul. So we'll have DRS to help him defend against Jake. Just 1.6 seconds cover the top 3. Is Paul coming under a bit of pressure? Has he just taken his foot off the gas too much? 6 attempts now, cover the top 2. That's going to be where the battle is in a minute. Callum really on the attack on his first race back. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Just 4 attempts now, cover the top 2. Down into turn 4. Softy's not close enough, but there is only 4 attempts that cover these two now. James, 8 attempts and further adrift. And we're being privileged to a great race here in Brazil. It calmed down a little bit in the middle stage, don't get me wrong. but hopefully these last 5 laps are really going to come to life. Johnner's now nearly 7 seconds off the lead. Jake, 11.5 seconds off the lead. Martin, a further 3 seconds back from that. Jack Pearson has also got ahead of Phil. We don't know what happened there, but Phil is only a 10th off him. So are we going to see those positions change round again? Phil and Dan really not helping their teammates. And Phil has now got ahead of Jack. But back to the front. A second separate the top 3. Paul is going to have to go defensive in a second. Softy's getting nosy, but can't quite wipe his nose yet.
At the same time, don't Paul. I'd rather Paul win than Softy, but at the same time, I need Softy to pass him.
Softy on the DRS. James is only 4 tenths behind these two. They could be 3 wide into turn 4. Paul holds his own on the inside. Softy's not quite close enough to switch back. Up to the fast double right-hander now. Side by side, Paul's holding the inside line. Softy gets on the grass a bit on the entry and has to slot back into second. He's got 4 laps.
Softy,
and I think any one of these 3 could win the race. Ooh, what a treat we've got here, ladies and gentlemen. Up to this tricky right-hander. All getting it braked very nicely. Paul's advantage is diminished. Softy's hunger is back. And James has his fire burning. Up the hill then. We're going to be in DRS again. Softy just 4 tenths behind. Jake 3 tenths behind Softy. Surely we're going to see some moves into turn 1. Paul's immediately covering the inside line. Now sticks it in the middle of the track. Softy's having a look around the outside, but can't quite do anything yet. He's just sizing himself up for the run down to turn 4. Paul's gone a little bit wide and Softy's all over him. He might not even need to wait to the braking zone. Softy then's going to be right on the DRS. Paul immediately covers the inside line. He's pushing as far as he goes. James is going to be in the mix as well. Softy around the outside into turn 4. Double lock up for Softy. That's not going to be ideal, but has to again slot in behind Paul. But they're side by side now. Coming up to the fast double right-hander. And Softy's going to have to pull out of it, is he? Yes, he is. Is he going to make a low bit? He has. He's on the brakes. Moment. At the top of the hill then, the fans are getting treated. We're getting treated. And up to turn 1 then. There's just 2 laps to go. Only 2 more laps for Paul to defend. Softy again has a little look to the inside but can't get it done. They both, all 3 of them having to get it slowed down in the tricky turn 1 and just slot in one by one to try and wait for that optimum overtaking position. Paul again immediately covers that inside line. He seems to have that defensive driving sorted. And Softy again, still not quite close enough. But for the last 2 laps, we've seen them go side by side up to the tricky turn 6 and turn 7. But this time, we're not going to see that. Although Softy has a little look to the inside. James even has dropped off the back of these 2 just for now. Are we going to see him come back again in the last lap, though? Just 4 attempts separate Paul and Softy with a lap and a half to go. And there's a back marker in front of them, I think, is Ash Dawson. And I pray to God he doesn't ruin this. So then, as they head to Zhongzhou for the penultimate time, Softy, 4.5 attempts behind Paul. The Scotsman is definitely, it's normally cold up north, but he's definitely going to be sweating now. Paul is almost immediately trying to cover that inside line. And it's only 3 attempts to separate them. Softy's having a look. Unless we start the last lap. Softy around the outside of Paul. Not yet. Paul has got it slowed down. So is Softy. James is nowhere. He's 2 seconds off the back of these 2. I think his tyres are gone. And Paul has made a little mistake on the exit of turn 3. And Softy's already alongside. And I think it's going to be in the lead before we get to the braking zone, is he? Paul is holding on. Are they going to be side by side again? I think Softy's just lost his best overtaking chance. Heading up now to the quick turn 6 and 7. And I think the Scotsman's done enough. Softy runs a little bit wide there. And he's got a half a second buffer now, Paul. He just needs to keep it clean, keep it tidy through the rest of sector 2 and up the hill. And the win in Brazil is his. But we're not going to count our chickens yet, because Softy is a fox in disguise. Heading now for the last time to Zhongzhou. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I don't know who that's for. James has really dropped off the back of these 2 now. Thankfully, the back marker of Ash Dawson didn't get in the way. But now as they head to the top of the hill for the last time, Softy's going to be on the DRS, but it's going to be to no avail because the Scotsman of Paul McGuinness nearly gets wiped out, but does cross the line to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. And what a race we've been treated to. Softy comes home second, James comes home third, John is just about to hold on to fourth from Jake, unseen by us. That really got toasty towards the end. Martin's going to come home sixth, Chris Johnson, great drive for him in seventh. Phil Bargewell will eventually cross the line eighth. Where does he? Now he does now. Dom Smith is climbing the hill and he will finish ninth at some point. He's weaving, he's showing off to the fans. Little twat. And Jack Pearson then will cross the line 10th, and let's be honest, and been left there for 20 years.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I mean, that's a
Dan the Man will come home 11th. He really hasn't helped his team in the constructors' battle this time. Chiapelli comes home 12th. But today, it's all about the man from Scotland, Paul McGuinness, wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. And they're coming out onto the podium any moment now. And probably Softy's throwing a cap at Paul as we speak. Maybe even James, actually. And there they are, the three drivers that we've been waiting to see. From three different teams and three different nationalities. They clamber up to the podium and Paul McGuinness lifts the winner's trophy high. And he should be very, very proud. So that has been your Brazilian Grand Prix. Franz Tost looks over the moon. Look at him. Look how happy he looks. Oh. Softy really needs a shave. It's the conclusion from this race. So there we are then. The rundown of the order. Paul McGuinness claimed another victory. Softy just couldn't do it and came home second, the man from Nottingham. The Irishman, James O'Connor, comes home in third. John has just about held on to fourth by 2 tenths from the resurgent Jake after that first lap misdemeanor. Martin came home sixth. A great drive from Chris Johnson to bring it home seventh. Phil Bargewell in eighth. Dom Smith came home ninth. Jack Pearson in 10th. Dan the Man in 11th. And Luca Chiapelli rounding out the points in 12th. Demon Ash was a lap down in 13th. And there we have it, folks.
We almost had all 4 countries represented in the top 4. British countries.
I'm up to a second. I'll take that.
Now.
I'll take that to say I'm shit at Brazil.
Compliments to Mike Noon from someone called Ginger Andy.
Hey.
Don't know who he is. Don't know.
Never did I get in Softy, ever.
honestly, do you know that uphill right-hander? If I hadn't have literally just touched it going up there, I'd have fucking just dived up the inside into that slow right-hander that like I did 3 laps before. And I thought, fuck it.
Well,
but a good race, good win, good win.
Jump Chow fucked me. I just got wheels on the curb and sent me off.
But yeah, fucking Jake's going on about in the chat. Someone needs to sort the lag out. Who is he on about with that? Is he on about James? Because James was lagging the entire race.
I will say this: I had absolutely no problem with James in that race for lag.
It was
the lag on the spectator cam was something else.
It wasn't the greatest.
Like if I was
Dhabi, you sent it to drive tonight, Jonathan.
No, that's why I was keeping a gap to him. I was letting the front few.
Dom, have you got the live points?
Okay, what I've done, Dom, is for qualifying, because the session starts at dusk. I've put at dusk times 1. The race starts at dusk times 3. Time progression. Weather is dynamic. It does come up as custom.
Right, so the constructors' points after that race, Toro Rosso claimed 30 points.
I need to get a pen.
Okay.
Stuff the constructors' points, I got a gaff.
Yes!
Hey, you got your first gaff.
Yes! Well done, Paul.
I got a gaff. Yeah.
Right, go for it, Dom.
Paul was inspired by my injury.
Toro Rosso scored 30 points, 25 from Paul and 5 from Phil. Williams only scored 14 points.
Ooh.
And Force India, of course, only had 1 driver, so they also scored just 10 points.
So basic, in short, unless a massith disaster happens in this race.
It's still close.
So that means the gap now is 18 points?
Yeah, okay. 18 or 20, I think. 18 or 20.
I need to watch the start.
If it was 4 points and they've gained another 16, no, it's 20
Isn't it,
points,
man?
right.
Yeah.
I got an amazing start. Fucking Martin went nowhere. Fucking
Someone
James had
tagged
a
me.
bit of a slow start.
Dan, I
You ready,
think,
boys? You ready, boys?
Dan, I think we hit, but like I'd left room on the inside, and then I just got shafting. I don't know what happened. I was like, oh god.
Well, the thing is, when
Revenge
me and
for
Paul were back,
Austin.
James hit me up the arse. I think at turn 1.
Yeah, is that on the second last
3-4-0.
lap? Because he
Yeah.
did apologise for that. He said to.
Yeah,
tell
no,
you
he
to
dropped back
apologise.
quite a lot. No, yeah, he dropped back quite a lot.
Force India 340, Williams 371, Torosso 391. So yeah, Torosso you got 20.
Yeah, just
Actually, no, I thought I got the gap.
I'll put it in the chat.
wait till I recover first before we do this.
Let's have a 10-minute break, everyone, so Paul can get back. Back his energy.
See, shows you. I've got bottle. I can.
You have? Fair play, Paul. I was convinced. He's got this. Paul's gonna, but no. Very good.
3 wins and 3 seasons now. Hey.
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 I waited like.
So
7
that was
seasons
Paul's. How many wins have you done TGP1 now? Let me have a
for- I'm the
quick
same.
check.
I'm the same as you now. 8.
Hey, now you could with me. Well done, Paul.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time I get close to you, you get another one.
That Dom's due one now.
Yeah, Dom's due a win.
Now I'm gonna win now.
Incoming Dom Smith win.
It's gonna be a wet race at Abu Dhabi.
Confirmed.
We've got 20 points over Williams. That was crucial.
Yeah, so it's 20-point gap. And how many? Who's had more wins this season? Paul. Phil's had 2, has he?
Phil said 2, yeah.
So Toros have 3 wins. Williams have how many? 3.
Oh, hello.
I think I skipped it in time.
All coming when it rains.
Are you playing?
I think Williams have got 4.
No, okay. So
I think I've won 4 this
level on
season.
points when you take on count.
Oh, hello, it's dark.
Oh my god, I thought it was fucking.
Where's the lights gone?
I thought
Where's the lights
it
gone?
was raining there.
It
I
always
literally thought it was
does that,
raining.
doesn't it? In the
It
pitch
looks
on
very
the
dark,
game.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Right, so we're gonna put the lights on.
Who turned the lights out?
So I forgot to put money underneath her.
Where is it?
So guys, I just made sure, just to be on the safe side, it's dry. Not that it makes a difference. It'll probably rain in about 5 minutes again.
Wouldn't it be good though if it was proper heavy
No.
rain?
It wouldn't.
Nobody would be
Didn't they set it
prepared.
to a 1 in 365 chance? Because it does rain, what, 1 day a year, doesn't it? So didn't they set it to that? Or do you think it's literally they've just set it to dry?
Probably just set it to dry. Actually, I don't know. I think they would probably, like, probably think as the others.
They probably put a percentage on it, but it's like 1%.
Very rare, yeah.
Needed tomorrow in TGP2.
Yeah, it's
That's
worth
the
pointing
kind
out.
of
I think
thing
the
that would
setup
happen in
which happened
TGP2.
Brazil, the setup which happened in Brazil, because Park Thunder was definitely on, but
No. It does it sometimes, but like the setups just stay loaded when it does that.
Come on, Phil, let's do this. Come on.
Yeah, Paul. Let's
What is he doing? Weaving all over the track. Damn the man, get out the fucking way. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm not blocking you to the stewards. Outrageous behavior, outrageous weaving, dangerous
Chris
driving,
Johnson
dangerous
has
driving.
just binned it straight out the pits.
Who's this
Paul, do you have
Indian
1-2
F1
races in a row?
driver?
Wait, what?
No.
What then?
Nothing, I was nothing. I was thought soft.
Yeah, needed Paul.
Impression.
Back-to-back wins needed. Oh, hello, Paul. Why did Carl silence when he left the pit lane in real F1? He clearly knew it was off, but then he sped up. As if it was back on again, and then obviously it comes off.
If he parked it there, would have been what, a safety car, red flag? At least something would have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, red
Hopefully our
flag.
race is a little more exciting than the F1 is.
Brazil
I
was.
like this, the sky's a different blue already. It's quite cool, man.
Alright, it's getting cloudy, boys.
Sure, yeah, it's worth pointing out.
Will
This
the-
session
will the
is on times
Lap
bomb.
time change? Will the lap times change because of the temperature, or saying that's not going to be a
That
case?
can
when it's-
Oh, hello.
Oh, is that with fuel? Who's that?
In the race for the Drivers' Championship, has won the title. Jake has won the title, just in case anyone was unsure.
Well, I was about to ask you about that. Are there any back through the field?
Well, Dan was
John-
racing Martin. I think Martin's now pulled clear. Paul was
I'm
racing.
racing
Oh my
third.
God, Paul was
Confirmed
racing
second
Softy.
in the standings for the 18th year in a row.
I was going to tweet that Paul could catch Softy, but I didn't bother because I thought Paul's not going to outscore Softy, and he's just beaten Softy in a race. So Paul, yes, can overtake Softy and Owen, because he was only 3 points behind Owen. Obviously, he's now 22 ahead. And he was, I think,
worth
just 6
pointing out
points off.
Owen is
He's
here
only
for
1
this
point ahead of
one.
Softy.
Yeah,
So I think Softy and Paul are like 1 point between them in the battle for fourth overall.
Now get the long setup.
And Phil must be in third on his own, I guess.
I'll give it.
Yeah.
Did I just win Brazil? Just joking.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
dreaming.
Yeah, you won it before. Is that your
You're
first time in
dreaming,
Brazil?
mate. You're dreaming.
Is that your first time in Brazil?
Yeah.
Lee McKenzie
I
was
never
cheering, you
thought it to
know.
be I never thought it to be a Paul McGee track, but there you go.
Yeah, it's
Paul,
one of my tracks.
Paul celebrated by having a Brazilian.
Hey!
A Brazilian.
No, I heard he's on a granny.
Oh.
Yeah, who had a Brazilian?
Oh, Paul, I had the video prepared, but I forgot to play it.
Thank you, monkey.
I'm so proud of you. You've been amazing.
Needed.
Oh, you can't edit any of the can you? It's live stream. Oh, fuck. Bloody hell.
Down man goes faster.
Paul, you got to win this race.
Alright, cheers.
Softy goes faster. By 2 seconds almost, man.
What the hell?
I think it goes quicker
If
than that, by the
FLM
way,
copyright me
just
for playing that, I'm never talking to you again, Dom.
Oh,
Jake goes quicker. Bloody hell.
Time's troubling.
Although to be fair, we have seen Softy go faster.
Oh, my second so
Yeah, I might struggle here.
Oh, ULC
Oh, yeah,
drivers
Jonas,
were
I
going to
thought you
be...
could go faster.
I said Softy could go faster, not me.
Oh, I thought you said I could go faster.
That lap he set is near my limit. Well, it's up my limit. So that's what I did earlier.
Get on, get on it.
Although I'm watching Dom Smith, this is going to be the lap of the day.
Mate, this is not going to be anywhere
Here we
near.
go, Dom Smith up to the line.
10.
Boys.
What a time.
Turns out I just done that lap
Paul's
in
had a
Richtree.
100% win
and not
record this
Max.
week.
Oh, get it right then. Sort it out, mate.
Don't consider
I know, yeah, it's terrible. Amateur error.
Amateur error from an amateur driver.
Oh, see, this is when I went to the Manchester Derby game. Imagine how cool it would have been if they got the footage for that.
What the heck was
Netflix, it was the first game of the season. Netflix weren't allowed access into the changing rooms, and it just happened to be the
Netflix
one
and chill.
game in years you get absolute drama.
Netflix and chill.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah,
didn't know that.
Netflix being in every dressing room until this game, because Man United didn't allow them. It's like Man United knew that something was going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. Imagine how cool that would have been. What a story that would have been from Netflix.
When's the McLaren documentary coming out on Amazon? Have they been filming it, haven't they?
They've already released one of them. We got it on DVD.
Really?
We sent some footage to Netflix today from Abu Dhabi, so I don't know what that's going to be used for. They've received some footage from it.
Ooh, sorry, I felt like I had to join in. Oh, Dom got a bit wide there, mate.
Yeah, fucked it up, mate.
So at the minute you've got the newest reigning champion, the most successful PS4 champion, and the all-time champion in the top three. Oh, never mind, Chris
No,
Johnson.
Chris Johnson spoiled it.
Prick. Bloody prick.
Chris Johnson's gone third. What is going on?
Nice call the cuts.
Sorry, is this TGP2?
I love how they all said that and they were like, Chris? Yeah?
Yeah, it took me a second there. I was like, Chris.
Yeah.
What?
To register what had just happened.
Chris Johnson got paid?
Steam made one of
Oh,
the
hang on.
Steam Portland.
Luca Ciapelli's on an outlap.
Wow,
Pole position
amazing.
incoming.
Is he on... Wait, are they the ultra soft tires at Abu Dhabi? Yeah.
Purple. Yeah, ultras and the supers.
Why is Luca on the supers?
Because he wants to be super.
Luca, go back to the pits, mate. You fucked up.
Get on the super lads.
Why did Jack put
Paul,
on the in the chat
why were
who
you
took
on
out the
supers?
lights from my pits?
Because I've got something up my sleeve.
Is it Brazilian?
Yeah.
Penis.
It's a
Is it a
Brazilian.
penis?
Maybe softy.
Fucking Jack Pearce in the chat. Chris Johnson needed in TGP1. No, I don't need your lag.
Who took out the lights from my pits? What?
Probably Jack. It's always Jack. Always taking out those lines.
It's Robert Kubica.
No, I heard that it was Softy because he was pissed off he didn't win.
Yeah. Hey, to be fair, I'll take second at Brazil. One of the
Paul,
shit
can you think of any funny moments from F1 this season? What's been a funny moment from F1 this year?
Funny moment.
I'm making an edit of funniest moments in the year, just like a random montage of all the best moments. But I was thinking, what ones haven't I thought of? So Paul McG might know. Dan the Man's already given me a suggestion.
It might be the team radio version, but the con with Fernando and Palmer.
Every time.
See, I want to put it in, but then I have too much team radio, and I'm like, it's just going to become a team radio edit.
You could always have the snapshot of Julian Palmer walking away from the shot, never drive.
All right.
Walking away from what?
I've been to Jack said tech Chris Johnson's last sector.
Oh, put it down, John. Mike's talking.
Jonathan, shut the fuck up, mate. I'm trying to talk to Dom.
Carry on, Mike.
Thank you. I said you could always put the screenshot up of Julian Palmer walking away from the advertising board which says never drive.
Oh my god, yes. Yes. But that's a bit... F1 can't put on their Twitter account, can they?
But it's when you drive, never drink, isn't it? It's not when you drink, never drive.
No, someone entered that, did they?
Go, John.
I can't, I've got a problem.
4 miles per hour down the pit.
I've got a problem.
What?
The wheel's not on.
Please go 10 miles an hour some more.
Thanks for that.
Fine. Terrible driving from the former champion.
Dan the Man mentioned on Sky F1. Needed.
Yes, needed.
Oh my god, this is happening. Daniel Fawcett. No one's going to understand it apart from us guys. Brilliant.
Lewis Hamilton isn't even going to be like
yeah, have the point where Ted says, I love Daniel Fawcett.
No, he's
not
not.
Going to be there.
He's not.
What a joke.
He's not going to be there. What? I fucking hope he doesn't win it. Anthony Joshua needed.
Apparently, Georgia Toff, or Toff as she's also known, is heading home to Torquay before a guest appearance at a Devon nightclub. Whee! Might go and tell her that she should have given it to Ian. But...
Yeah,
Ian's
good
coming
idea.
to Bromley. Ian's doing a night out in Bromley. Get a rock.
I believe he didn't show an argument.
But Dan, don't worry, mate. Don't worry. You've got
Stanley
Johnson coming to do a one night only in Club in Liverpool.
He done an interview on his talk show last night, and he said that he was saying that Jamie accused of spying of him spying on him, and the made as he thought because he's watched some of the clips back of the fiction.
Did I tell you what Elias said on the extra cam? Or did you see it?
Yeah, I seen that.
He was like, "You called me bully," and he was like, "No, I didn't." And it wasn't him.
Amir Khan's an annoying little prick. Let's be honest.
He is. Such a two-faced...
Mind of a 14-year-old, body of a 30-year-old.
There was an argument which he didn't show, which Jamie accused Ian of spying on him.
Spying?
Yeah, but he didn't show it. I don't know why, but...
Anyway, Softy goes pole. Let's go back to my for the final minute of qualifying.
We've got a minute to go of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, and Softcop has taken provisional pole with a 1:36.2, a stunning lap from the man from Nottingham. Has anyone got an answer to that? No. He's put himself in the barrier. Jake put himself in the barrier trying to beat it, but he's still going strong. Jake round the final corner now, coming up to it. Is he going to be able to put that force in on pole? I don't even know if it's on a lap or an out lap. Jake has binned it and hasn't got pole. Oh, God.
They're gonna have to red flag that, Mike. Oh my god.
They're gonna have to red flag this. This is a farce. We must restart.
Oh, the McLaren! Oh, that was close.
Jesus.
We've got James O'Connor rounding the last couple of corners now. Is he going to be able to challenge? Phil's gone third. He's knocked Chris Johnson off the top 3 slots. But here comes James O'Connor rounding the last corner now. Up to the line. Where'd he go? He goes second. He displaces the Welshman. And the checker flag has fallen. Is anyone else going to be able to displace
What
anyone?
a juicy front row that is.
Johners underneath the hotel. He needs a good exit and a good final couple of corners to be able to get himself on the front row, to be able to put Williams back into the contention for the Constructors' title. Johners round the last corner, then runs a little bit wide, up to the line, goes fourth, not good enough.
That's fucking shit.
Phil is apparently still on a lap. Martin is way down in 10th, he's still on a lap.
Phil's quite tough.
Oh, if Martin beats me, I'm going to be so annoyed.
Martin then is on a lap, we're hearing. Where's, excuse me, Paul McGuinness, way down in 9th. He has a 100% win record this week. And Martin Diver, the last big name apart from maybe Owen Quimby, who's behind him on track, to still set a very quick time. Martin's run wide. But I think of the two of them, Owen is the one on the quicker lap at the moment. Last couple of corners now for the Red Bull driver, the man who finished just about 5th in the last race. Round the last corner then, a bit squirrely, he goes. He stays 11th, Owen's going to go.
Owen's out of fuel. Did he run out of fuel?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
no. So then, actually qualifying done in Abu Dhabi, and we're just going to wait for the confirmed results. We're just waiting for Phil Bardwell to retire, and we can run through the final order for the final time in season 28. Is it season 28?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Could have said it a bit earlier to not make it sound like such an idiot. Thanks.
Apparently, we should look at Chris Johnson's last sector.
Nah, no need to.
James has also mentioned that.
As long as he doesn't.
Can't really repeat what he referred to it as, but.
Well, what a promo that is. Softy from James. Finally, we're getting to see these two go toe to toe.
Can you please wait because the results haven't been confirmed yet?
Chris Johnson's last sector is 0.6 quicker than Softy's.
No.
What?
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
that's so much like a straight line.
Well,
Right, there we go. Thank you, Phil. You bastard.
Is 9/10 quicker than James's.
Oh, and James has just run into the back of Dom Smith.
Oh.
Oh, it was Martin. So then,
That's not good.
a qualifying order for the last time in season 28 of TGP1. Softy takes pole by 0.4 of a second from James O'Connor. It's second and third from the last race, who starts on the front row in Abu Dhabi. Jake comes home in third, start on the grid. Jonas joins him on the second row of the grid. Phil will start 5th. That's not ideal for the two teams fighting construction in 4th and 5th. Chris Johnson with a fantastic performance in qualifying with a questionable final sector comes home 6th. Dan will be 7th, Jack Pearson in 8th. Last time's race winner Paul will start 9th. Ash in 10th, Martin 11th, Owen in 12th, Dom in 13th. I don't actually know who's 14th. I imagine it's Luca.
So we should be alright.
Oh, I need a drink. Yeah,
Here we go.
Thank you.
I'm probably going to get killed by James's lag. Please don't.
So then, the grid girls are out, the mechanics are out, the celebrities
The grid
are out.
grills?
I'll tell you who isn't out.
Hang on.
The grid grills. We got the barbecue on.
Yeah,
Mike,
the George Foreman has is holding
Mike,
up the
tonight,
competition.
are you in the middle of a stroke or something? Because the wording that you came out with today, it sounds like you've
Can you smell toast, Mike? Can you smell burnt toast?
Yeah, a lot of it.
It's from the grid grills on the track.
Yeah, all those.
Get Andy. Andy, we need you on standby.
Yeah, he might drop dead mid commentary.
Why does it smell toasty on the grid?
Good luck, boys.
Here we go.
For the last time then in season 28, and for the last time indeed in 2017, we have 3, 4, 5 lights in Abu Dhabi. And they're all out, and we're underway for the last time in TGP1. Softy gets a good start. Jake's had an even better start and already troubling James for second place. Round the outside. He's going to hold on to it. His ears a little bit of contact, but I think Jake has just about done it. There's been an incident a little bit further back involving down the man, Phil Bardwell, and that's really not good for the Constructors' title. Jonas is in 4th place at the moment, but that's not going to be enough. It says 20 points separating the two teams. And there's a little bit of drama going on a little bit further back now as they come on to the main straight for the first time. Softy leads by just over half a second from Jake. Demon Ash has got a 5-second stop-go penalty already. Jeez. Going down to the first time to the difficult braking zone of this left-hander. The top 4 separated at the moment by just under a second and a half. Softy commanding the race so far, but only got 3/10 of an advantage over Jake, who's already started to drop James, the Welshman, the current world champion. Everyone says Softy would have beaten him if he'd done the full season, but he might be able to prove that he was worthy of it now. For the first time then, the tricky Sector 3 is not known for its overtaking. James runs a little bit wide and will now have Jonas all over him. Paul's had a fantastic start from 9th up to 5th. Mr. Luca Chiapelli is dropping back. He's down to 13th, and I think he'll drop behind Dan at some point as well.
Well, I've got no front wings, so...
Maybe not. So, Jake then.
Can't believe that
Is he going to be able to prove everyone who said that no matter what he did, he was going to win the title without Softy? but now he's got a chance to put the Renault driver under a bit of pressure and try and prove them all wrong. For the first time then across the line, it's Softy, Jake, James, Jonas, Paul, Chris Johnson back up to 6th, Martin a great start up to 7th, Owen in 8th, Dom 9th, Jack 10th, Phil down at 11th, and in the pits, Chiapelli in 13th on out to 11th thanks to Phil, Ash and Dan all in the box.
So what was the lag? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you were just like suddenly went dead slow and. Yeah.
I was James was spinning in front of me, can't give me damage.
Falling on
I got shafted.
Got a bit of
Chris Johnson's lag has created a grey battle for 7th.
Unbelievable.
We've got a bit of team rating here in this battle for 7th, but we're watching.
But Jake's almost going side by side, Softy.
Yeah, I'm watching, Joe. Yeah, thanks. So, up to the second main straight now. Jake, just half a second behind the Renault driver. Is he going to be able to make any sort of a move into the tricky left-hander braking zone? Not quite on this lap. He's going to have to stay close enough, though, for the next lap with DRS coming into play. James holding his own in 3rd at the moment, just 7 tenths at the moment behind Jake. Jonas a second behind that. Then we got Paul 3 seconds behind in 5th. Owen 3 seconds further behind in 6th, with Martin just 3 tenths behind that, and Chris Johnson joining in that good little battle for 6th. But we're still watching the front 2 for the moment, as Chris Johnson has got back past Dom. I think Dom had overtaken him very briefly.
Make sure he doesn't put the final sector.
Softcop sets the fastest lap of the race. The gap is just 6 tenths at the front, and I think everyone's just starting to settle down into a bit of a rhythm now, saying that as Martin is less than a tenth off the back of Owen. And on the exit of turn 1, Martin's got a run up the inside into turn 2. Owen holds on to his own and hits Martin. Martin's gone well off. Wow. And Martin's dropped all the way back to 9th now. And Owen being a little bit of a naughty boy there, not for the first time. And that sort of stopped that battle dead in the water. So we got Jake with DRS, just 4 tenths behind the man from Nottingham. The newly crowned TGP1 champion will want to end his season on a high after a disappointing Brazil. But I don't think he's close enough yet to make a move on the man in yellow. And I need to sneeze. Bear with me a second. Lucas got a 10-second time penalty in the interval. And Jack Pearson's also got a 3-second time penalty already.
Great scrap for 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. There's 4 of us, all of them split by a second. Oh, Chris Johnson heads the battle, and there's a big... Chris Johnson lost some of his front wing. Chiapelli's retired at the back. There's 3 cars fighting for 7th at the moment. Dom Smith now heads the trio. Owen's left.
Phil. Fucking hell. I don't fucking believe that.
Phil's gone as well. What's going on?
Phil's gone, Owen's gone.
What's happened?
Dom has moved up into 6th.
As soon as Chiapelli retired, the game crashed.
And
Dom Smith wins!
Martin moved up to 7th. Jack will move up to 8th. And these 3 will be hoping that the battle is this close next season in TGP2, as Martin will be moving down to join them in TGP2. But nonetheless, the battle is reigning strong in Dubai for these 3. And Jack is all over the back of the Rebel driver. And is he going to think about a move at the end of the main straight? We've got Jake just 4 tenths behind Softy. And is he going to try and make a move into the second DRS zone now? Jake in the slipstream. Phil Bardwell's back, put down at 11th. And is Jake going to try and move up the inside? Not quite yet. Softy and Jake locking up. There's nothing to separate the 2 of them from front wing to rear wing. Luke has gone. Bye. That's it for his season. And Jake is pretty much changing gear for Softy at the moment. Is he going to do an Artur Markelov style dive up the inside? He has a little look. Not quite. Meanwhile, James is biding his time, and John is starting to drift back a little bit further from the leading group. We've got a yellow flag out in sector 3. Owen's come back. And has Softy pitted? Softy pits. Softy has thought that 4 is enough for his tyres. It's time to get some
I
fresh
think
set
he's
on,
timed
and
that
Jake has
badly,
now
you
got
know.
some clean air, and we'll need to make the most of it. Meanwhile, the battle for 6th is really hotting up. There's nothing to separate any of them. Are any of these going to pit? Not quite. Martin almost having a look around the outside of Dom Smith. Dom's really struggling at the moment. Martin's going to try and get around the outside of into turn 1 now. And before we even get to the braking zone, he's pretty much past the McLaren driver. The man from the Isle of Man runs a little bit wide. Martin clips the back of his car. I don't think he's got any damage from
Softy's
it.
right in the middle of it.
Softy's come out right in the middle of it. But he's got Martin because Martin runs wide. I think he does have front wing damage. Jack's going at the inside of Softy. There's contact. So this is not what Softy needs.
You have to look for your name on the list, on the spectator list, Phil, and then just go and go to track.
And Softy's all over the back of Dom Smith. Dom's defending to the inside. He's trying to help out Jake. This is not helping Softy. Dom Smith is going to be late on the brakes. No, he lets the Renault driver go as Martin goes back up the inside of Jack Pearson. Maybe he hasn't got front wing damage. Try and have a look at the front of the Red Bull car.
Jesus, that wasn't supposed to happen.
I think, yeah, Martin has got some front wing damage there, I can see. Jack Pearson all over the back of him. Is he going to make a move around the outside into this corner? He's still there, Martin, watch out. But he just about holds on for the time being. Great little scap we've got going on here. And is Jake going to feel that now is the time to pit? He should do, because Softy's lost a bit of time. He has. Jake's in the pit. Let's go on board with him. Brings it down to just a measly 48 miles an hour.
Did anybody else's setup reset?
No.
I didn't even check.
Super softs go on for the Force India driver, and he's released. I think I just saw Softy's car flash in the background come around the last corner. I can't see him yet.
Right, I mean, Jack had
I think Softy's done it. Jake runs a bit wide, and they're the Red Bull of Martin. So yes, Softy has returned to the net lead, and Jake does avoid coming out behind the Red Bull of Martin, struggling with his front wing. But the gap has gone up to 1.9 seconds from just 4 attempts before the bit even. And now, are we going to see Jake in full attack mode? Jack Pearson's just 6 tenths off the back of Dom Smith, and meanwhile, these two have both pitted as well. Jack would be really hoping to make a positive end to the TGP1 season. He's still in the title chance for TGP2 as well. But Jack, all over the back of Dom Smith, pulls out with the DRS. Surely it's going to be a comfortable move for Jack coming into the left-hander. And Dom's keeping up with him though. And late on the brakes, Dom Smith. He's trying to position himself well for the second DRS zone.
Messed it up.
But he's messed up the exit. And I don't think the DRS is going to be powerful enough to get him back ahead of the Mercedes drivers. So Jack Pearson takes back what is at the moment 8th. We've got John is in the pits. James has stayed out. He's really trying to extend the life of the ultra soft tyres. Paul's in the box as well. Paul, of course, with a 100% win record this week. And Softy sets the fastest lap of the race. He's saying to Jake, you've got no chance of this now, Sonny Jim. And as they head over the top of the pit exit there, and I think John is going to remain ahead of Paul. He does. And John has exited the pit now into a nice bit of clean air. Martin's also come to the pits. Owen stayed out. And we're going to see Paul also exiting the pit now, also ahead of Owen. So these two have got some good space now. Martin will come out behind Jack Pearson and Dom Smith, or will he? No.
Just about.
Oh, Jack's gone wide in front. I hope he hasn't got any damage, but we've got some smoke coming out the back of a Sauber. I don't think this is right, but I'm watching the Sauber of Owen Quimby, and there's smoke pouring out the back of it.
Yeah, some on.
I don't know if it's a new tactic from Sauber, maybe, but it's not helping at the moment. Softy's got a 3-second time penalty.
Oh.
Now.
Yeah. It's that chicane.
So, Jake, just 2.7 behind him at the moment, is still on course to win. Not that he knows. But
why didn't you both have a little collision or something so I could catch up?
that throws a spanner in the works. James is in the pits now. Where's he going to come out in relation to these two and Johners? Owen Sauber's still smoking.
Apparently it's the anger from the game crashing.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Owen, mate, smoking's bad. Don't do it.
That engine's too young to smoke, isn't it?
Hey.
I think there's certain laws about that. James, underneath the track now. Where's he going to come out in relation to Johners? Johners has only just gone over the top. This is going to be close. 3-second time penalty for Ash as well. But James somehow has stayed ahead of the Williams.
Where are you, Phil?
I don't even know what the hell is going on with the constructors anymore. But
oh no, Toro Rosso have won. It's over.
Yeah, Toro Rosso easily. That crash blew it really.
I don't
this
think
Williams
so.
is dog shit.
Well, there's 20 points gap. Johns is at the moment in 4th. Paul is in 5th. There is only gaining 2 points there. Dan is gaining an extra point over Phil. So at the moment, Toro Rosso will be champions. Points. Unless, of course, let's have a look what Force India's tally is.
No, they're miles out.
No, Force India can't do it.
Whoa!
The yellow flag somewhere. What's that for?
Start line.
Oh, we got it's Demon Ash. Demon Ash is spun, I'm thinking. And Demon Ash is now out.
Safety car.
Please.
That would be a spanner in the works.
That would fuck me.
That would be fucked up, yeah, with a 3-second time penalty.
Who has now got 3-second gap to Jake. Softy is going to be very... Stick. Sorry, wheel.
Not as much as last race.
And the race is definitely settling down a bit now. James has got a bit of a gap to Johners as well. He's out of DRS range. There are actually no close battles on track at the moment. Jack is getting very close to the smoking Owen Quimby. And I don't know if you're getting this, but there is just
smoke is billowing out the back of his car. I don't know how he's keeping it going. He's pinned. He's pinned. Is he going to retire?
I think. Is he going to retire the car?
Surely he's going to get a black flag soon enough. Black and orange flag.
Let's hope they can fix that issue. Well, we're going to go on board with Owen for his stop. Let's they're going for a pit stop rather than to retire the car, so maybe they're going to fix it.
Are they going for an engine change? They're changing the tyres.
And he's left the box and still pouring out smoke. Oh, he took the wall exit. He's Carlos Sainz'd it. And surely underneath the tunnel, the smoke is building up there. That's going to be really hazardous if anyone else decides to pit.
I think he's auditioning for a job at the Red Arrows. He looks like one. The camera angle I just had was amazing.
Owen Quimby there. This is going to be recorded and sent off to Her Majesty's service.
He wanted to do the
next year we might not see him in TGP1. We might see him in a Red Arrows. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a Silver Arrows because those 2 seats are already filled. I think.
3.
So, still with no close battles on track, as Phil runs horribly wide there. I don't know what's wrong with Phil. Phil, have you got a problem?
No.
Yeah, finger.
Other than a finger, yeah.
Jack Pearson's got another penalty. No surprises there.
Yeah, we need some room.
While we've got this little lull in proceedings, we're going to head down to the Williams driver of Dan the Man. Dan, how has this race gone? It's not gone well so far. What is it? Sum it up for us.
Not good because of the incidents at the start.
And tell us what did happen from your point of view.
I just hit the back of Phil because of the lag from James at turn 1.
And without the incident on lap 1, where do you think you could have been challenging so far in this race?
I don't know. What's the meaning of life? I don't know.
Dan, I'm not going to lie, that is the probably most depressing interview I have ever done. So thank you.
Are those the advertising boards glitching out? Have we got a new logo coming or something?
Hey. That's exciting. Well,
I get it now.
Owen's car still pouring out smoke, and he is gaining on the back of Phil. This, unfortunately, is the closest battle on track at the moment. Softy's got a 3.3 second advantage over Jake, so that's pretty much dead in the water.
Not
Martin's 3
yet.
seconds behind
Not
Jack.
yet. That could come back. Softy pitted first, remember, so his tyres are going to be more warm towards the end.
So we'll see how that pans out, but we're going to keep watching Phil at the moment just to try and put him off a little bit. But let's have a little skip through the field and see let's run through the order with just 4 laps to go as Softy crosses the line for the 11th time. He does lead the race at the moment, 3.3 seconds ahead of Jake. James O'Connor further 4 seconds back even. Jonas just 1.9 seconds behind him. James did manage to jump Jonas in the first round of pits. Paul McGuinness having a very lonely race in 5th. The race winner from last time out in Brazil. Got very excited. Probably his excitement level went through the roof, which is why he's plateaued a bit in the last round of the season. Jack Pearson doing a solid and sterling job in 6th. Martin Diver down in 7th. Was very much in the battle for 6th earlier on in the race until a little bit of damage to his front wing compromised that. Dom Smith was also involved in that battle, but is now 5 seconds off the Red Bull. Chris Johnson, who put in the qualifying performance of his life thanks to a very dubious final sector, is down in 9th. Maybe his pace is really showing to us now. Dan the Man, after his hideous first lap, number 25 man from Liverpool, is in 10th. Then we've got Phil Bargewell 11th and a smoking Owen Quimby all over the back of him in 12th. Now Dan's gone very wide coming out of the hairpin. That's something for the fans. They look very excited. And Owen then all over the back of Phil. This is going to be like stealing candy from a baby. Owen on the DRS. Moves to the inside. Is Phil going to challenge him? I don't think he will, although Phil's staying there.
I can see the smoke.
Jack Pearson's got another penalty. Owen's going to get DRS again. He's already alongside the Toro Rosso driver. Phil's probably scared of being behind Owen with all that oil that's spilling out, but he's going to have to in a minute. Owen round the outside trying to squeeze Phil Bargewell. They're making contact through the right hander though, and Owen's done it, and Phil's now got a face full of oil. Lovely.
Can you see that, Phil?
Yeah. No, I can't see anything now. Oh, fuck. It's like Damon Hill.
Nice.
So Owen now just 2 seconds off the back of Dan, and Dan's going to run for his life to try and make sure he's out of the smoke.
Is it like an actual big puff of smoke? Like
yeah, it's just constant. Yeah. It's just...
It's like a constant engine blowout.
Oh, the engine smoky glitch from a previous game. I bet it's like that.
Softy, you have a glitch for everything, don't you?
I know. My face is a glitch.
So Owen just a second and a half behind Dan now. Dan, how worried are you about getting a face full of oil?
I'm panicking.
Bet we can hear it.
Although to be fair, we are in Abu Dhabi, so there's enough oil anyway, but it's with Owen as well.
Oh God.
Well, why am I always chosen to be interviewed, by the way?
Because you're the star of the show, you're the poster boy.
Dan,
you're the 4-time champion. We've missed you all these years. We've got to make up for lost time.
Exactly. Think of all these interviews I've missed out on doing for you, with you.
Okay.
So,
anyway, back to the man.
I mean, Dan, if you don't want me to interview you, just say and I'll
No,
bog off.
fine. No,
Yeah.
It's not like you got to concentrate hard on getting the race wins these days, eh?
That's true. That's very true. That's very true.
Oh, Dan needed a TGP3.
The Stayers Sport commentator's going to be accused of bias.
This is John and Dan the Man.
What's going on with James and John? Is it the lag? Yeah.
I've just got no pace whatsoever.
So, Jonathan, we've heard quite a lot from your teammate, who seems to be getting pretty pissed off of it. So we'll
I'm not getting pissed, I was just asking.
How do you feel knowing that you and Dan have pretty much thrown away this Constructors title?
Well, let's say we've thrown it away. I'd say the car wasn't good enough today.
So you're blaming the car rather than yourself?
Well, to be fair, we lost 3 points in Brazil where I hit the back of Softy, where I misjudged the braking, but I only lost 1 place from that. So, aside from
to be fair, Mike, he has won 50% of the last 2 races.
That is true, Jonas. You are by far the man in form, but not as much as Paul McGuinness. Here he is, star of the show, star of the night. Paul McGuinness, give us a few words.
It's alright.
Thanks,
Come
Paul.
on, Owen. Come on, Owen.
They're playing in the rain next week.
Smokey
So
Owen
we've got
right behind
Softy
me.
just about to
Down
start his
and
last lap. And I tell you what, let's ride on board with him because at the moment he's done enough to secure the win.
Hold on, get you down the man I know.
Owen is all over the back of. Sorry, Owen is all over the back of Dan, and he's got past him already.
I can see the smoke from the second last corner as they're on the other side of the track.
And Dan's trying to hold it out the inside, but Owen's round the outside and done it.
God.
His Smoky Sauber has
That is
made it into the
ridiculous.
top 10. I'm surprised Dan can see his braking points. I would interview Dan, but he doesn't like it.
No, it's fine. I can see the red light flashing, but I can't see the car.
Go on, Dan, make a move. Be brave, Dan. Be very brave.
Oh, God.
Oh, he's tried to, and he nearly clipped the back of him. Don't listen to me, Dan. Don't.
Oh, he's
Oh,
just hit the
Owen's hit the
wall.
wall. Owen's hit the wall. He's missing some of his front wing. And Dan the man's got a 3-second time penalty. But it doesn't matter because he's trying to keep out the smoke from Owen. Owen's really struggling with his front wing now. Up to turn 1, and we're going to see Dan make a move. The man from Liverpool. He's doing this for Merseyside. He's doing this for the Reds. He's doing this for Hillsborough. Dan the man all over the back of the Sauber driver. He's up the inside, and Dan's got back 10th, hasn't he? Owen's trying to fight on the inside. Dan round the outside of the chicane. What a race! Owen's trying to hold on to it. Up to the hairpin now. Owen's sticking it to the inside. Phil's not far behind.
Come on,
Owen
Phil.
slipped back ahead of Dan.
He's got DRS
And he's going to have DRS. Phil's only 8 tenths behind. We don't even care that Softy's about to win the race.
The fireworks are about to go off now as well.
Oh shit, fireworks, yeah.
Remember, he's got a penalty.
Softy around the final
Yeah, I think
corner.
he's done enough.
Dan's having a look at the inside. There's contact with
It's gonna-
Owen.
it's gonna be
Softy's
close.
won.
It's gonna be
we don't
it's
care
gonna be
because
close.
there's
It's
a
gonna be close.
three-way battle for 10th.
Yeah, no, I've done it. I've done it.
Softy's done it. Softy's done it. Get in.
By 6 tenths, Softy's won, but we don't care for the moment. Chris Johnson's got ahead of Dom Smith, has he?
No,
No,
side by
Dom's
side.
got him back. Dom's got a 3-second penalty, but so's Chris. They're just chopping and changing
Oh, I
positions.
forgot to go to the penalty.
Is Dom going to do an answer Markov? No, we go back to Owen. Phil's all over the back of Dan now.
Oh my
They're
God,
going
there is
side by
smoke.
side.
Oh!
Dan up the inside. Phil.
Oh, they've done a Jonathan James season, whatever it was.
They're both in the Phil's
I got
reversing
Dom
round
and
the
Chris
rest of the
Johnson.
track.
I've been around after
Dom's
you.
going to hold it.
Go on, go on.
Dom holds it.
Dom's going to hold on to 8. No, he doesn't. Chris takes
No,
it
he had an
back.
extra penalty.
Owen with his Smoky Sauber will come home 10th. And these two, Dan goes very wide. He's a very small man. But he crosses the line 12.
Oh, feel.
And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been your TGP1 season. And that has been your final race. And there's definitely a party atmosphere tonight. But not more so than for Callum Kirkham, who in his first week back since I think Baku. Oh, I might be wrong. But Callum wins. Max Verstappen comes home 3rd. Great drive from him. Driver of the day. And Jake is also in 2nd. So there's your top 3. And Softy is relieved more than anything. And the champagne is spraying for the last time in season 28. The cameraman's getting soaked. There's a Chinese man looking very happy. And that is it then. Well, at least we have the champion on the podium, but in 2nd. Let's have a rundown of the order. Callum won in the end from Jake in 2nd. Then we had James coming home 3rd. John was in 4th. Paul McGuinness came home 5th. Jack Pearson in the Mercedes 6th. Martin Diver brought it back to 7th in the end, with Chris Johnson finishing 8th, just ahead of Dom Smith. Then we had Owen come home 10th in his Smoky Sauber. Phil Bargewell finished up 11th, with Dan in 12th, which means that Toro Rosso have won the Constructors' Championship, so congratulations to them.
Well done, guys.
Ash did come home 13th in the end. And that's been it then. That's been the 28th season of TGP1. It's been great to have you all along for the whole journey, and I'm sure that we'll be here again soon. We've got TGP2, the finale, coming up tomorrow night, where Owen and Jack battle it out to try and be the champion of season 18 or 19, one or the other. I think it's 18. We also have TGP Cars starting back up again in January, so if you're around, do tune in for that. Join in as well. That should be a very exciting championship. And before you get it, put it in your calendars, as TGP1 is back in the spring. This has been Say Sports Gaming HD for another season of TGP1. Thank you. Thank you to Dom Smith for TGP1 again, and from me, from us all, we'll